The universe didn't begin with a bang. Not the way you've been told, anyway. There was no explosion, no deafening rupture in a silent void, no flash, no boom, just a whisper from nothingness into being. And that should terrify you. Because if everything you've ever known emerged not from chaos, but from something quieter, more deliberate, then what does that say about the reality you're standing on right now? You might think you're on solid ground. You might believe the stars above are ancient and stable, that time is a forward arrow, and space is a vast, passive stage. But what if none of it is real in the way you think? What if time doesn't move at all? What if space is an illusion? What if your memories, your body, this moment, are just vibrations in a web that isn't even there? You see, the Big Bang wasn't the beginning. Not really. The equations don't add up. The singularity, this supposed point of infinite density, never truly existed. It's a placeholder, a boundary in our math where the numbers break, where knowledge ends and mystery begins. We say Big Bang like it's an answer, but it's a question mark dressed in confidence. Rewind time. Keep going. Past your childhood. Past the pyramids. Past the formation of Earth. Keep winding back through frozen epochs, through stardust and silence. Eventually, you arrive at nothing. Or what you think is nothing. But that nothing had structure. That void had potential. And inside it, a spark, untraceable, inexplicable, set the universe in motion. But here's the paradox. That moment, the one we call the beginning, may not have been the start of anything at all. In fact, some physicists believe the universe has no beginning, only a cycle. What we call the Big Bang could just be a rebound, the echo of a previous collapse, a heartbeat in a cosmos that never truly sleeps. Now, take a breath, because this is where it gets stranger. If reality began without a beginning, then what anchors it? What holds it together? The atoms in your hand feel real, don't they? Solid. But zoom in far enough, and they dissolve into probability, into clouds of maybe. You are more uncertainty than matter, more question than answer. And space, the vastness you picture when you look up at night, it bends, it warps. It's not a backdrop, it's an actor, a living, changing participant in the story of existence. And time? Time can stretch. It can slow to a crawl near a black hole, or freeze entirely at the edge of a singularity. It is not a constant. It is a trick. So what if none of this is what it seems? What if you are not living in reality, but on the surface of something deeper? And feed-either interface, like a screen hiding the code beneath? Some theorists whisper of the holographic universe, where all of space, all of time, everything you've ever touched or loved or feared is a projection, a shadow of truths you can't perceive. In this view, the cosmos isn't three-dimensional. It's data, patterns, a script being read in a language you'll never hear. And here's the most unsettling part. That language, it knows you're watching. Maybe you've always felt it. That eerie sensation that reality stares back when you stare, too deeply. That you're a character in a story so large, even the stars are footnotes. Maybe the edge of reality isn't a place, but a question. A question etched into the fabric of existence, waiting for someone, you, to ask it. So ask yourself, if everything you believe is a layer, a surface, a mask, what lies behind it? Are you brave enough to look? The universe, our universe, began with light. Or at least, That's the story we've told ourselves. Not light like the sun casts or the stars scatter across the sky, but light in its purest, rawest form. A cosmic blaze so dense, so blinding, that space itself struggled to stretch under its weight. In the first fractions of a second, after the so-called Big Bang, the cosmos was nothing but a roaring sea of particles and radiation, too hot for atoms, too wild for form. Not chaos, but a kind of trembling potential, like a violin string plucked before the note forms. Physicists call it the hot, dense state. But names do little justice to what it truly was. Imagine an ocean of fire where even time had no direction yet. Just a suffocating, brilliant now. Space was not empty. It was becoming. Time was not flowing. It was beginning. And yet, everything you see today, your hands, the air, the galaxies above, was already encoded in that first breathless moment. A cosmic seed swollen with everything, balanced delicately between being and not being. They say the universe has no center, no edge. It expands everywhere at once, like the surface of a balloon inflating, each point stretching away from every other point, yet with no fixed middle. It's beautiful, but it's also unsettling, because if the universe is expanding, what exactly is it expanding into? There should be something beyond the edge, shouldn't there? But here's the paradox. There is no edge, no beyond. The edge doesn't exist, not in space, not in time, because space is the thing that's expanding. There is no outside to the universe, not in any way we understand. That idea alone fractures everything you were taught about physical boundaries. And it only gets stranger from here. Take a moment. Let your mind drift far beyond the solar system, beyond the Milky Way. Picture a wall of galaxies rushing outward, billions of them, stretching across a canvas that never ends. Each galaxy, a swirl of hundreds of billions of stars, each star with its own planets, its own history. Now, step back. Zoom out. Picture all of that. Every star, every black hole, every whisper of cosmic dust, suspended in a web. A vast, invisible lattice, known as the cosmic microwave background. This faint glow, the echo of the universe's birth, is everywhere. It's in your living room. It's between atoms in your body. It's the oldest light in existence. And that light tells a story. It tells us the universe is not static. It's moving. It's expanding faster than ever. Galaxies aren't just drifting apart. They're accelerating away, driven by something we don't understand. A force we call dark energy. But dark energy is just a name, a placeholder for ignorance. We don't know what it is. We don't know why it exists. We only know it's winning. The more the universe grows, the more space it creates. The more space it creates, the more dark energy floods into it. It's a runaway engine, a feedback loop with no brakes. And here's the contradiction. The universe is getting bigger, but emptier. More spread out. More silent. In time, stars will vanish beyond our cosmic horizon, not because they've ceased to exist, but because the fabric of space itself will have stretched so far, so fast, that their light will never reach us again. We will be alone. Not because we're the only ones, but because the universe will make it so. And then there's time. Time, which we treat as a river, a current we move through. But is that true? What if time isn't flowing at all? Einstein showed us that time and space are not separate. They are woven together into space-time, a flexible fabric that bends and curves. And gravity? It's not a force. It's the bending of that fabric. A planet doesn't orbit the sun because It's being pulled, but because it's falling through curved space, like a marble rolling in a bowl, and in that curved space, time slows. Near something massive, a planet, a star, a black hole, time stretches. A second near a black hole is not the same as a second on Earth, which means time is not fixed. It's not universal. It is personal, relative, elastic. And if time is not constant, then what is now? What does past or future even mean? In this cosmic dance, we begin to see the cracks. Where do we draw the line between space and not space? Between something and nothing? Between real and imagined? Because we're finding more evidence that what we see, this shimmering reality, is a projection. That the true information of the universe is etched not in volume, but on a surface, like a hologram, like a cosmic movie playing on the screen of existence. If that's true, then the galaxies, the stars, even you, are real, but not in the way you think. You are an expression, a ripple, a rendering of something deeper, hidden, untouchable. So we circle back to the beginning. Where does reality actually end? Does it end at the horizon we cannot see beyond? Does it end in the quantum fog beneath, atoms, where particles flicker in and out of being? Does it end at the event horizon of a black hole, where information may be lost forever? Or is it stored, smeared across a surface like cosmic ink? Or does reality end with you? With the i.e. limits of your perception? Because every telescope, every equation, every idea you've ever had has come from a brain born of this universe trying to look back at itself, like a mirror, reflecting a mirror, reflecting a mirror. This is the stage, and the curtain is only just beginning to rise. Imagine you're standing outside of time. Not in the past, not in the future. Outside. From this vantage point, time isn't a river. It's a reel of film. Every moment, your birth, your death, the rise and fall of civilizations already exists, each frame locked into place. And yet, inside that film, you feel time move. You sense the flow, the change. But from the outside, nothing is changing at all. It simply is. This is more than just metaphor. It's a reflection of what relativity tells us. According to Einstein's theory of general relativity, time is not an absolute flow. It bends, stretches, and freezes depending on how fast you're moving or how close you are to something massive. Two observers, standing in different gravitational fields or moving at different velocities, experience different versions of now, which means now isn't real. It's local, personal, subjective. There is no single present moment for the entire universe. So if there's no universal now, what is the structure of reality? Some physicists propose that the universe is a block universe, a four-dimensional structure where past, present, and future all coexist. You're not moving through time. You're simply experiencing one slice of the block at a time. The future already exists. The past never went away. Everything is already written. But who or what is the observer? Now, dive deeper. Let's talk about singularities. These are the blind spots in our understanding of physics, the places where everything breaks down. The Big Bang is one. So is the core of a black hole. At a singularity, gravity becomes infinite, space collapses into nothingness, and time ceases to function. According to the equations, these places shouldn't exist, and yet they are built into the very fabric of our universe. What happens inside a black hole? We don't know. We can't know. Not with our current tools. Information, as far as we can tell, vanishes. Not just the atoms, but the laws that define them. It's like dropping a book into a fire and trying to read the ashes. But some physicists, like Stephen Hawking, believed the information can't be lost. Quantum mechanics forbids it. So the question becomes, where does the information go? One theory says it's smeared across the event horizon, encoded like a two-dimensional hologram. Another claims black holes may leak information back out through Hawking radiation, slowly evaporating over trillions of years. Or maybe black holes don't just end things. Maybe they begin things. Some scientists now speculate that black holes could be bridges, gateways to new universes, that every black hole may birth a new Big Bang on the other side. Let that sink in. A collapsing star in our universe could ignite a new cosmos elsewhere, complete with its own space, time, laws of physics, and maybe even life. Now step into the multiverse. What if our universe isn't the only one? Inflation theory, which describes the rapid expansion of the universe just after the Big Bang, suggests that our universe could be one bubble in a vast foam of universes. These other bubbles might have different laws, some with more gravity, some with no matter, some with no time at all. An infinite sea of realities, each governed by its own code. Some universes may last only microseconds, others may be cold, lifeless voids, and a few, just a few, might look almost exactly like ours. Now imagine infinite versions of you, scattered across this cosmic sea. Some are nearly identical, others made different choices. In one, you never watched this video. In another, you were never born. It sounds like science fiction, but it's the logical result of certain interpretations of quantum mechanics and inflationary cosmology. In fact, the very structure of quantum physics, the way particles exist in multiple states at once until observed, points to something even more radical. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests that every time a decision is made, the universe splits. Every possible outcome happens, but in a different reality. Right now, there are infinite timelines where everything you could have done, you did. So where is the real you? In a multiverse, identity fractures. You're not a single thread. You're a tapestry. A chorus of possibilities, singing different versions of the same song. But don't stop there. Let's bring in loop quantum. Gravity, a theory that tries to reconcile Einstein's general relativity with quantum mechanics. According to this theory, space and time are not continuous. They are granular, made of tiny loops, woven together like a fabric. Time doesn't flow. It ticks. Reality is not smooth. It's pixelated. And if you zoom in far enough, you'll find the universe itself is a quantum object, fluctuating at the smallest scales. In this view, time may not even be fundamental. It may emerge from something deeper, something outside of time itself. A pre-time, a pre-space, a realm where cause and effect no longer apply. If that's true, then time didn't exist before the Big Bang. But neither did before. There was no before. Try to imagine that. A moment with no moment before it. A boundary that isn't a place, but the absence of a place. A silent beginning that isn't a beginning at all. And now we arrive at the edge of language, the edge of thought. Because the closer we get to truth, the harder it is to describe. The universe may not be logical. It may only appear that way from within. You are trying to describe a house while standing inside one of its walls. You don't see the outside. You don't even know if there is an outside. Which brings us to the ultimate question. Is the universe conscious of itself? Is reality aware that it's real because you're here, watching, wondering, questioning? Maybe that's not a coincidence. Maybe it's the point. Here's a thought that should unsettle you. What if the universe cannot be fully known because it is not complete? What if it's still building itself, writing its own laws as it goes? It sounds absurd, but some physicists believe the rules of physics might not be fixed. They may evolve. Constants like the speed of light or the strength of gravity may not be constant at all. They may be dynamic, shifting over vast scales of time. If that's true, then reality is not just expanding, it's rewriting its own script. And if the rules can change, then how do we trust them? Now consider the cosmic horizon. There's a point, far away, beyond which light will never reach us. Not because it's too faint, but because space itself is expanding too fast. Galaxies beyond that point are being pulled away from us faster than the speed of light carried on the stretching fabric of space. They will vanish, one by one, until we are alone in a black void lit only by dying stars. This is called the cosmic isolation, a future where observers will look into the sky and see nothing. No galaxies, no evidence of a beginning. The universe will appear cold, eternal, and empty, a lie told by time itself. So how do we know our view is true? Maybe we're already in a limited bubble. Maybe our version of reality is just one chapter of a longer story. And then there's the problem of observation. In quantum mechanics, particles exist in multiple states at once, until someone looks. When observed, the wave function collapses. The act of observation defines reality. But what is observation? Does it require a human, a conscious mind? Or can a measuring device do the job? This leads us to the measurement problem. If the universe is fundamentally quantum and nothing is real until observed, then who or what observed the universe into existence? Was there a cosmic observer? Or does the universe observe itself? Some thinkers propose that consciousness is not an emergent property, but a fundamental force. That awareness is not the result of complex brains, but a field, like gravity or electromagnetism, woven into the very bedrock of existence. In this view, you are not observing the universe. You are the universe, briefly observing itself. It's not philosophy. It's physics, trying to explain what math alone cannot. And yet, contradictions remain. Take the concept of entropy, the idea that disorder always increases over time. It's why you age, why stars burn out, why the universe will one day die a slow, cold death in what we call heat death. But here's the mystery. Why was the universe so ordered at the beginning? The Big Bang should have been chaos. But it wasn't. It was elegant, structured, fine-tuned to an astonishing degree. The odds of a universe like ours arising from randomness are so low, they border on impossible. So why are we here? Some argue it's selection bias. We can only ask the question because we exist. Others suggest a deeper principle, that the universe is designed not necessarily by a deity, but by a process, a cosmic natural selection, where only universes capable of sustaining observers survive. But even that feels like an answer avoiding a bigger question. Now let's talk about simulations. What if we're not in a universe at all? What if we're in a program? Think about it. Quantum mechanics is digital at its core. Particles jump. Energy comes in quanta. Reality, at the smallest level, behaves like a computer code. And in a simulation, resources are conserved. Just like in our universe, you don't render what isn't observed. You don't compute every particle, only the parts being interacted with. In fact, some experiments suggest the universe has a pixel limit, a smallest possible unit of space. Like a resolution cap, like we're inside a screen. If we are a simulation, then the real question becomes, who built it? And why? And even if we're not, how would we ever know? Any evidence we find could be part of the simulation itself. A test, a story loop, a maze with no exit. Which brings us to the final paradox. Where is the universe? Not what or why, but where. Everything we know exists within space and time, but space and time are inside the universe. So where is the universe sitting? In what container? In what context? It's like trying to draw the edge of a sheet of paper when the sheet is the only thing you've ever seen. There is no outside, only the illusion of one. And maybe that's the ultimate truth. Maybe the edge of reality isn't out there. Maybe it's inside you, in the limits of your perception, in the boundaries of your thought. Maybe the universe never had an edge, but you do. And that's where the mystery begins. What if you've already lived this moment, countless times before? The words you're hearing now, the beat of your heart, the thoughts flickering in your mind like dim stars on the edge of some forgotten sky. What if they're not new? What if this has happened before, exactly like this, and will happen again, forever? If time is not flowing, but frozen, if each moment is simply a coordinate in a vast four-dimensional map, then you are not moving forward. You are stuck, trapped in the illusion of motion. The future isn't waiting. It's already there, already written, already lived. You are just remembering it in order. And suddenly, everything changes. Because if that's true, if time is a static tapestry rather than a river, then where is your freedom? Where is your choice? That feeling you had this morning when you decided which shirt to wear or whether to smile at a stranger. Was that really you deciding? Or were you just following the path already carved? And if you are not in control, then who is? Now, breathe. Slowly. Because this is where awe meets terror. The universe is not made for you. It is not warm. It is not kind. It does not think or feel or comfort. It is vast beyond comprehension, stitched together with laws that have no preference for your survival. You are a fragile flame flickering in a windless, empty cathedral that stretches forever. You are stardust given temporary shape and the illusion of purpose. And the more we learn, the more fragile we become. You are made of atoms forged in the cores of long-dead stars, ancient fire buried in your blood. Yet those same atoms are mostly empty space. You are, in truth, more nothing than something. Held together not by strength, but by balance. A balance so delicate, it defies reason. Look up. Beyond the sky is a void so cold, so utterly indifferent, that it has been expanding for 13.8 billion years, erasing the warmth of its own beginning. Stars are dying. Galaxies are drifting into silence. And one day, all of it will go dark. That's not poetry. That's physics. And yet, here you are, asking these questions, watching this story unfold, feeling. Why? What is it in you that needs to know, that aches to understand what lies beyond the veil? You are not just observing the universe, you are the universe in a brief moment of awareness, asking what it is. But that realization cuts both ways, because if you are the universe, observing itself, then your thoughts, your hopes, your fears, your memories are not separate. They are woven into the very fabric of reality. You are not inside the universe. You are the universe, localized, temporary, disguised as a person. And if that's true, what happens when you die? Does the universe forget that it was once you? Does your thread simply end or fold back into the larger pattern, unreadable, but still there? No one knows. No one can know. And that is the horror. We stand at the edge of knowing, staring into a darkness that stares back. A silence so complete, it feels like it has intent. A boundary not of space, but of meaning. This is the existential cliff, because suddenly, everything you believed about permanence is gone. Love, memory, time, identity, they might not be eternal. They might not even be real. You are a pattern, unfolding and dissolving like a ripple in a black sea. And yet, within that void, you matter, not because the universe cares, but because you do. Because in a cosmos of indifferent equations and dying stars, you are the rare miracle that asks why. You seek truth. You mourn loss. You dream of futures that might never exist. That makes you extraordinary. Maybe reality isn't about finding answers. Maybe it's about learning to live with questions that never end. And maybe the universe doesn't give you meaning. Maybe it's waiting for you to create your own. What if everything you know, this life, this universe, this unfolding reality, is nothing more than an echo? Not the beginning, not the middle, not even the end. Just a ripple, a vibration in a dead cosmos, still humming with the final breath of something long gone. Because here's the twist, the one that rewires the foundation of all you've just seen. There is a theory, haunting, elegant, and terrifying, that says the universe may already be over. That time, as we perceive it, is just memory encoded into the fabric of a decaying reality. We're not living in the present. We're witnessing the fading afterglow of an existence that has already collapsed. The light hasn't reached us yet. Not because we're too early, but because we're too late. Cosmologists call it the phantom time hypothesis, the Boltzmann brain dilemma, the thermal echo theory. But underneath the names, the idea is simple. If the universe tends toward maximum entropy, then in a long enough timeline, random fluctuations could produce not entire galaxies, but singular moments. Isolated observers, conscious only for a breath, born into the illusion of continuity. You might be one of them. Think about it. What if your memories aren't real? What if they were fabricated the instant you began observing them? What if this moment, right now, is the only moment that ever existed for you, conjured out of cosmic dust and entropy, and gone the instant you blink? And here's the horror. You would never know. From your perspective, it would feel exactly the same as real life. The people you've loved, the paths you've walked, the stars you've gazed at, all just fragments assembled by chance, flickering into coherence before fading back into oblivion. But maybe, just maybe, that's not a tragedy. Maybe the miracle isn't how long we exist, but that we exist at all. Now step back. Imagine the universe from above. Not as a scientist, not even as a person, but as a presence, watching. See galaxies spinning like silent storms. See stars being born in glowing cradles of dust, while others explode in supernovae that outshine entire galaxies. See black holes colliding, warping space like sheets of liquid glass. Time folding, space rippling, gravity dancing. Now pull further. Beyond, the edge of visible light, beyond the observable horizon. See bubble universes inflating and drifting in a cosmic foam, entire realities colliding like waves on an infinite ocean. Some warm, some frozen, some never even allowed time to begin. And in one of them, in a universe with just the right ingredients, just the right tuning, you emerged, not as a mistake, but as the universe waking up. Because here is the grand possibility, the climax of everything we've uncovered. What if the universe is not a place, but a mind? A mind still learning to understand itself. Each galaxy a thought, each black hole a question, each conscious being a neuron, firing in the brain of reality. And you are part of that awakening. Maybe the Big Bang wasn't a bang at all, but a moment of awareness, a realization so profound, it ruptured the void and created time itself. Maybe we are not here to observe the universe. Maybe we are here to complete it. But what happens when the mind finishes thinking? When the last neuron fires? When the final observer looks away? Maybe that is the true heat death. Not a loss of energy, but a loss of wonder. The final sigh of a universe that no longer dreams. And yet, in this fading light, there is still mystery, still motion, still you. Which means the story isn't over. It never was. Because if the universe is infinite, then somewhere, right now, another version of you is watching this same video, asking the same questions, feeling the same awe. Maybe they've already found the answer. Maybe they are the answer. Or maybe the answer doesn't matter. Maybe the point was never to understand. Maybe the point was simply to ask. So now you know the truth, or at least the edge of it. We began with a single contradiction, that the universe may have no beginning, no edge, no center, just an eternal ripple in a sea we barely comprehend. We unraveled time itself, saw it freeze and fracture, not a river, but a structure, immutable, indifferent. We walked through the heart of paradoxes, from singularities and time loops to infinite multiverses and dying stars, to the horrifying idea that you might be a flicker in the echo of a dead universe. And then we saw it all again, from the outside, from the grandest perspective imaginable. But here's the thing. None of it answered the question. Because the moment you think you've found the truth, the cosmos changes shape. Just out of reach, just out of focus. It dares you to follow, but never lets you arrive. And maybe that's the point. Maybe reality isn't meant to be solved. Maybe it's meant to be felt, to be lived through, wondered at, chased, like starlight you'll never touch. Maybe it's not about the destination, but about the infinite ways we can get lost, trying to understand where we came from. So where does that leave you? You, the observer. You, the anomaly. You, the rare moment of the universe that looks back at itself and asks, why? You've seen that your body is mostly empty space, that your memories might be illusions, that your decisions might be echoes of choices already made. That time doesn't move. You do. That the stars aren't fixed. They're fading. that galaxies may be dying in silence beyond the cosmic horizon, never to be seen again. And yet, here you are, breathing, feeling, wondering. That means something. You are not meaningless. You are not small. Because smallness only exists in comparison. And there is nothing else quite like you. You are not in the universe. You are the universe, arranged in a pattern that asks questions. So, ask more. What is behind the edge of perception? What is the universe expanding into? Is the cosmos alive? Are you? Don't stop here. Don't settle for what you've heard, not even from me, because every answer you've been given is another invitation to question further, deeper, stranger. Go outside tonight. Look at the sky. Feel the hum of the stars, not with your ears, but with your mind. Know that those points of light are ancient messages. Know that their light traveled billions of years just to be seen by you now, in this one fleeting moment of consciousness. Ask yourself, if the universe has no end, then what are you becoming? Because this story, your story, is unfinished.